Imagine you are driving down the highway, and your low coolant light pops up on the dashboard, but when you pull over and check under the hood, the reservoir looks completely full. This confusing situation often points to a code P2559, which stands for Engine Coolant Level Sensor, or Switch Circuit High, and it is a generic diagnostic trouble code that applies to many vehicles made from 1996 to the present day, including brands like Audi, and Ford, and BMW, and Lincoln, and Chrysler. This code basically means the powertrain control module has detected a voltage or resistance level that is way too high and outside the normal range it expects to see from the sensor that monitors your antifreeze levels. Most of these sensors work using a simple float system just like the one inside a toilet tank or your gas gauge sending unit, where a rising or falling float opens or closes an electrical circuit. If the coolant drops too low, the circuit completes and warns the computer, but when the circuit is high, it usually means there is a break in the wire or a bad connection, making the computer think the resistance is infinite. The severity of this code is moderate because while the car might be running fine right now, you have lost your early warning system for a real leak, and if your coolant actually does drop low without you knowing, you could overheat the engine and warp the cylinder heads or blow a head gasket, which costs thousands of dollars to fix. You might notice the check engine light or the low coolant warning lamp staying on even when the levels are perfect. Common causes for this are a defective level sensor or switch and faulty or damaged wiring that might have been chewed by a rodent or rubbed raw against a metal bracket. You should also look for corroded or loose connectors and check for a blown fuse if your specific model uses one for this circuit. Start your troubleshooting by looking up the technical service bulletins for your specific year and model, because sometimes the manufacturer has already released a fix for a known software glitch or a weak wire harness. Next, find the sensor, which is usually located on the side of the coolant reservoir or the radiator, and check the wires for any obvious burn spots or bare copper. If everything looks good visually, you will need to use a digital multimeter to check the resistance of the sensor itself and compare it to the values in your repair manual. If the sensor is stuck or the internal switch has failed, it is time to replace it. If you are not comfortable testing electrical circuits, or if the problem seems to be deep inside the powertrain control module, then you should definitely take it to a professional mechanic to avoid accidentally shorting out the main computer. Keeping your cooling system in top shape is the best way to ensure your car stays on the road for a long time, so do not ignore that light just because the tank looks full.